afternoon, and welcome to BBC Two.
Hello and welcome to Back to the 80s, the podcast that travels back through time in a red, green and gold DeLorean. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is now, we're into December. As you know, I love Christmas and therefore we're doing the Christmas podcasts now. So over the next 4 weeks, you're going to have a podcast a week with a friend of mine, friend of the podcast, basically talking about their Christmas from the past and basically looking at the specials they would have watched and the specials they still watch on telly and what they got for Christmases that they enjoyed in the 80s or early 90s. And we'll also have a look at the schedules on the year they were born and just see if there's anything decent or horrific that we can point and laugh at, basically. Because that's what you do at Christmas. It's all about the lols. Joining me this week, we have friend of the podcast. He hasn't been on in a little while, but we're making up for it now because he's back on for Christmas. It is, of course, your friend of mine from Stace Bob and the Dweebs. It's Duncan.
How are we, Mr. Jakeman? How are you doing today?
Yeah, not doing too bad, mate. How are you?
Wonderful. Very, very wonderful.
Yeah? Oh, excellent stuff. Still keeping on and stuff.
Chugging along nicely as usual. Nothing of interest to report. At least not at this very moment, anyway. But I'm sure we'll chat in a minute.
I'm certain that we will. Stace Bob and the Dweebs going okay? The podcast doing okay?
Yeah, funnily enough, not long before you messaged me to prod me because you didn't hear anything whilst I was frantically searching for my headset, which, as I've already told yourself, was hidden in. Do you know what? Right, it was in the first place I'd already logged, and the annoying thing is I wasn't the only person who checked in there. The Benin checked in there as well, and she couldn't find it either. So I'm scratching around going, oh, God, I'm going to have to, text Glenn and say I can't record because it's not going to be much use doing it on the microphone on the actual bleeding laptop. And then finally I rooted it and just took everything out. I was like, God bloody hell, here it is. But anyway, so yes, not. I believe I was started saying something, then I got completely off tangent by whinging about losing me headset.
You did.
Yeah, that sounds like
what
me.
It was?
Oh yes, Taste Bob and the Dweebs. Just before I started scratching for it, Stacey texted me going, "It's Christmas Dweebs time. What are we? When are we recording?" So I'm just waiting on a reply back to see when we are doing.
California raisins at Christmas. I'm just saying.
Well, it's not my choice this time. I already had my choice. Actually, I mean, technically, I didn't have my choice because I wanted to choose Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling, but as usual, I got thwarted again. It was Mr. T all over again. I don't know why. I should check beforehand. So we wound up watching. Sorry.
You should.
I know, but that implies a degree of preparation that
competence.
The competence, preparation, all things that I fail in apparently.
Well, apparently so, but never mind.
Well, yeah, because if I didn't fail in them, I'd have got that management position I went for, wouldn't I?
Oh, there's always next time. Next time you'll research, and next time you'll research with Stace Bob and the Dweebs as well.
Well, I don't have to this month. So that's a month's reprieve, but
your New Year's resolution.
But they require work, Glenn, and that sounds awful. Which is also probably why I didn't get the management position.
I don't know what to do then. I don't know what to do with you.
A general work shy nature does not a good manager make. Or maybe it does. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. I've had plenty of managers who are more than work shy. So,
but no, Space Bob and the Dweeb's still good fun. Still, still worth a listen. Do a podcast. Do a download. Get our figures up. Have a listen. Do a chuckle.
Yes.
All that. Don't the plugs usually come at the end? This is we're in uncharted territory here.
Oh, well, I always like to plug this one twice because I like Stacey Bob and the Dweebs. I like you and Stacey. You're very nice people. We're gonna have to get Stacey on soon if you're listening to Stacey, which you probably isn't. But if you are, we're gonna have to get you on to talk about She-Ra because obviously, I'm assuming she's enjoying the new series.
Yes, I believe so because I think she. Hang on, is it actually? Had she? No, because last time I saw him, I don't think it was out yet, so I don't think she'd seen it. But she was definitely looking forward to it. Yes,
it's very good. I enjoyed it. I haven't seen all of them yet, but the ones I've seen, I enjoyed it. It's still not going to replace the original 80s one, but I'm an original 80s kid, so it's not going to replace it, is it? But it is very good. I'm enjoying it.
See,
it's a different take, which it should be.
I mean, I have no feeling on She-Ra one way or the other, but I'm assuming Amy's little girl's probably going to want to watch that. But I feel mildly offended by, and I know I shouldn't because at the end of the day, nobody can ever change the originals. Is the new Thundercats one?
Oh, that looks awful! No, that looks terrible.
Yes, it does because
it's making fun of the source material.
Yeah, no. Do you know what? Not a lot of people watched it. I really liked the remake that they did in the sort of late 2000s.
It was okay. It was a bit too slow. I always think it was a bit too much of a slow burn, especially for kids back then. It needed to be more Ben 10-ish. They were all.
It was more serious and dark, wasn't it? That was the thing.
Yeah, a dark and gritty reboot. And that's fine. It was okay. It wasn't as bombastic as the 80s. It was a bit quieter and it was, like I say, a bit slower burn. But I think that's maybe what did for it at the end of the day. But this new version of I'm not one to complain and bitch and moan about it because I always think it's not really for me. But when they start actively making fun of the source material, then that's just a bit disrespectful.
So this is the thing with that remake of the Thundercats. It had nice little knowing nods to the original, like having the original Lion-O do the voice of Lion-O's father. And I remember one episode, Panthro was on about don't put your foot on the Samoflange, and one of the other characters like, what's the Samoflange?
What the fuck is the Samoflange?
Yeah, God, I love Blundercats. So
we've had him on the podcast. We've had him on the podcast saying that.
No. Oh.
Yeah, Larry Kenny came on. If you look in the back catalogue of 2010 area, he actually does go, what the fuck is a Samoflange? And it's one of the best moments of my life.
That is fantastic. Do you know what? That Blundercats, the amount of times we listened to that on Newgrounds on crappy old dial-up internet, just laughing our asses off as kids.
I do love Newgrounds. I miss it.
What happened to that place?
Flash animation got better and YouTube happened, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, mind you, let's be honest, it was saturated with lots of just crap. For every decent Alien Hominid or Castle Crashers that come out of it, there was always just about 30 to 40 just crap things.
Yeah, about 8 million Strawberry Clock videos.
I don't think I've seen this.
The Clock Crew. Oh, it's just a strawberry with the clock face.
Oh, right, okay.
And various... iterations of. Oh,
that's more harmless than some of the things I was thinking of, like Vegeta going Super Saiyan whilst taking a dump and blowing the planet up, that kind of nonsense. Which again, I believe, if I remember rightly, when I was about 12, I thought was hilarious. But looking back now, I just think, grow up.
What was I doing? There was this one called Miss Dynamite as well, which was basically just a woman torturing blokes.
Right.
And the bloke who was drawing it was clearly getting off on this. So,
God.
But yeah, very odd, very odd, very odd. He's on YouTube. But there's also One Ring to Rule Them All, which was fantastic. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
See, I'm not sure if this was on Newgrounds. It was definitely on eBay. Yes. But they used to stick... Oh, no, the one I'm thinking of is... I think it's called The End of the World. It's just where a guy edits... it's a really terribly animated... flash drawings of different people across the world setting off nukes. I don't know why. There's something about it that just still makes me chuckle.
It's It was very odd. It was Newgrounds and anything to do with that early Flash animation stuff. It was all a bit Wild Westy and a bit odd, and it was awesome. And I kind of do miss it. What can I say?
The halcyon early days of the internet, where things were just I'll say innocent in the regard of it seemed all nice and innocent at the time.
Yeah, not as well regulated as it used to be.
No.
Excellent. Well, we shall leave it there for now, and we shall come back in a few minutes after a break and talk about Christmas from your perspective, which is what we're here to do. The adverts this time around are from HTV West, so we're talking sort of Bristol area, Bristol and all around there. From the 5th of December 1985, so it's early December, so things aren't quite Christmassy yet, because in old telly, things weren't really Christmassy until sort of Christmas week. Whereas now, you know full well that ITV is going to put their Christmas decorations on the telly sort of the 1st of December.
You'll love it.
Oh, it's a bit weird anyway with adverts on ITV, because they always used to put their best telly on before Christmas Day. There's no point putting good Christmas telly on Christmas Day on ITV, because people aren't watching and they can't sell the advertising space.
So, well, I wouldn't have thought, certainly not these days, seeing as everybody gets, you get games, consoles and things to play with. It's not, well, mind you, I suppose you'd have it on as background noise, but no one's going to pay attention to the adverts, are they?
It's not only that, but what are you going to sell on Christmas Day? Everything's shut and Christmas is over, so the shops don't care and the advertisers don't care, basically.
I hadn't even thought of it like that.
Yeah, neither did I until it was pointed out, and I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah, it was good. Thank God for TV Cream, that's all I'll say, because they tend to be really rather rational about this sort of thing. But yes, HTV West on the 5th of December 1985. You've got a trailer for Knight Rider, that's quite long, and then a trailer for the Richard O'Sullivan, Joanne Ridley, Me and My Girl sitcom, which I quite liked. I used to like that. It's on YouTube. You should go watch it. It's pretty standard sitcom fare, even written by Colin Bostock Smith, who was all over the 80s like a rash. But I kind of liked it.
See, whilst I was watching the link that you sent me, I was just watching the Knight Rider clip thinking, I really want to watch this now.
Yeah, it's probably more exciting. The trailer's more exciting than the thing itself, probably.
I know, but, bright flashing colours and explosions.
Yeah. No, I can relate to that. Next up, you've got an advert for Maxell videotapes, which isn't Scotch and therefore isn't long and isn't exciting. You certainly do that with a dancing skeleton on it. So.
But it's really, really weird.
Yeah, I think Maxell had sort of given up on videotape at this point, and sort of, we're not going to sell as many as Scotch. They've got that bloody skeleton. So
I had to laugh how their tagline was it? It's video, it's cassette, it's forever. Like, is it really? Is it really? Time will tell.
Well, that'll be the next thing to come back, because vinyl's back.
Oh, yeah.
And cassettes are back, so it's going to be videotape now, retro. God, I hope not. I really hope not. I hated video cassettes. Hated them. Next up is an advert. We've spoken about this one before for La Motte Lager, and it's the fantasy epic one. So it's basically He-Man crossed with Conan the Barbarian, crossed with Blade Runner. It's a mishmash of different styles in this animated advert for La Motte Lager, which doesn't even exist anymore, sadly.
It made me want a Pilsner.
I would drink it on principle.
Yeah, that advert was badass. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's an awesome advert. When you were a little kid, I'm guessing it wouldn't fly now, because obviously it's animated and cool and awesome, and kids would think, oh, I'll drink lager then. It makes you awesome like that. Yeah, I'm guessing it probably wouldn't fly. Neither would Hofmeister, because it's a cute mascot, isn't it? So I'm guessing you're not allowed them anymore with lager commercials.
They can't do it. They can't show anything. Well, this is it. That's why they kind of give up with them. They don't bother, because the regulations are so strict on them. So what's the point?
Boring. And yet they're allowed to make umpteen adverts about getting yourself into more fucking debt than you're able to. That's allowed, but not lager. Weird, isn't it? Never mind.
Look, we've got to keep Brian Butterfield in work.
Call now. They're not stars. They're asterisks.
Lord Mayor's croupier.
Bombs.
Discount foie gras.
Pizza cream. Pizza pie.
Mini quiche.
Pork tubes?
Oh no, was it pork cylinders?
Yeah, pork cylinders.
Sorry, I've derailed you as usual.
Egg and ham slabs. Fucking love Brian Butterfield. Anyway, next up is an advert for B-Jams. B-Jams, of all people. The turkey, basically for Christmas. Get your turkey ordered because that's how soon you have to order it, apparently. For some reason, it's a talking fridge, and the fridge is talking in the style of Tony Hancock, which is odd.
I liked the fridge. I liked the idea of it with arms and just like chatting away.
Yeah. To Susie Blake, I think it was as well, from Victoria Wood and Russ Everett's Madhouse, which very, very odd advert, very odd.
I'll take an advert like that any day of the week over these ones where it's like a bank using twee imagery to try and make it seem like they're my friend.
Yes, stop doing that and stop going about mental health. You don't give a fuck about our mental health. You really don't care. So stop, Lloyds. Stop making out like you care. You don't. We know you don't. You're a bank. You want our money. Next advert is great because I still get this at Christmas and the Radio Times. It's for the TV Times. It's not for the double issue. It's for the single issue because the double issue's coming. It says there it's coming. It's a coming. And it's like, yeah, there we go. Because everybody loves a double issue.
Was that the one with a bit of bully on the front, or was that the single issue?
That's the one with a bit of bully. That's a single issue. I forget what the double issue was that year, but that was definitely a single issue.
As if Bullseye needed advertising in the 80s. Everybody knew it was on a Sunday.
Who didn't want it on the cover, though?
Well, yeah, all right, fair enough.
And then we've got an intro to Benny Hill, which obviously isn't on there, because Benny Hill, kind of unfashionable these days, because it's a little bit... I'm not going to say racist and sexist. I'm going to say of its time, because it was of its time. It was perfectly fine at the time. That's not to say it was fine. It's just that it was fine at the time.
There's a quote I've liked. I can't remember who wrote it. I read it in one of the papers, which is that the past is a holiday destination fondly remembered but not revisited.
Exactly. It is perfectly fine to get nostalgic about shit like that. But obviously, as long as you realise, you probably don't want those attitudes back. Thank you very much. And I think Benny Hill's sort of in that, whilst not being horrifically racist and sexist as some people said it was, or some people accused of it was, I don't think we want comedy to go back there again.
Do you know what? I'll say this. There are certain little bits, though, little sketches. I remember one in particular where he's stood outside a woman's window singing, "Throw open wide your window, dear," to which she does, and it smashes straight over him while she continues singing the rest of the song.
Oh, yes. Oh, no, there were some great bits. One of the ones I always loved as a kid was he did a striptease, and it was very Marcel Marceau sort of mime-ish, because he liked mime and Charlie Chaplin. And he basically, it's this clown does a striptease, and then he starts taking his skin off as well.
Right.
So he's basically, it's just him in a black suit with a skeleton drawn on the suit. So it's just him as the floating head in this skeleton, and I always thought it was quite fun. It was kind of like the Kenny Everett ones, when he did it with the pen, if you remember those.
No.
Have you seen that?
No.
He does exactly Marcel Marceau to the, I forget what the tune is, but it's that one that goes din 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 din, and he's got he's in front of behind, should I say, like a perspex wall.
Right.
And he got like a marker pen, and he draws things on the wall with a marker pen, and then he interacts with them. It's always very clever. I would definitely recommend it, because Kenny Everett was a bit of a genius, I think. And his DVDs actually come out this year, the whole of the Thames series. So the Kenny Everett video cassette, I think it was back then.
I always liked his what was it, Instant Bee Gees kit.
Yes, oh, classic. That's awesome. I was a big fan of Kenny Everett when I was a kid. Massive fan. But we shall leave you with those ads anyway, and come back in a couple of minutes to talk about nostalgic things from Christmases past. Bye-bye for now.
He-Man is here. I'll be right back.
At 7:30 tomorrow, there's an explosive situation in Knight Rider.
They're well-known crime figures in Detroit.
That's very nice.
The 19th hole. Kit, this is the place they bury people when they get in their way.
Jamie, fire 7 and 12 to the starting line.
To the road up ahead.
What about it?
There's a high-voltage wire stretched across it. Michael, we're going to hit it.
Foul play is suspected in Knight Rider tomorrow night at 7:30. And that's followed at 8:30 by comedy with Richard O'Sullivan in Me and My Girl.
Portrait indeed, shades of Dorian Gray.
Right then, so, how do you want me? Have you got a favourite position you'd like?
Just that Gemma's mum doesn't get much of a chance to go out, and you haven't had much luck with your girlfriends recently.
Excuse me, it's not a question of luck. I just happen to be concentrating on my work, that's all.
That's why you have to meet somebody new and exciting. She's not that exciting.
A touch of matchmaking in Me and My Girl tomorrow at 8:30.
Maxwell is forever. Tradition tells of a Pils lager and of a scientist in his timeless search, his quest, that lager, the lager of Lamont. For a strong Pils with a taste beyond time, smoothness beyond dreams. Seek out the lager of Lamont.
I just can't wait for Christmas dinner. Of course, we've already got our turkey, haven't we? Self-basting, just the size we wanted. Good old B-Jam. Do you know a Matthews Golden Norfolk only costs 59 pence a pound? You can't blame me for blowing my own trumpet, can you? Christmas at B-Jam. It's what your freezer's for.
There's only one way to find all that's coming on ITV and Channel 4 for the week ahead. TV Times. This week, read the exclusive feature on the Channel 4 comedy Singleton's Pluck, and about the girls in 007's life. There's Highlights, a quick guide to the best on ITV and Channel 4, and Countdown to Christmas, a compendium of cracking Christmas ideas, hints and recipes. Don't be in the dark. It's all in TV Times this week and every week.
TV Times.
In half an hour, another case for Magnum. First half an hour of comedy with The Benny Hill Show.
Now back to He-Man and She-Ra.
And we are back. I hope you enjoyed the ads there as much as we did watching them as well. So, Duncan.
Glenn.
Christmas.
It is a thing.
It is a thing. Are you a fan of the thing?
Who don't like Christmas?
Oh, plenty of people.
No, they're talking out their arse. They do, really.
Loads of people. I've had,
but
especially, it's too early. I keep hearing it's never too early.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love Christmas. I'm not going to lie and say I'm not slightly in that camp. I did get a bit annoyed when I heard a Christmas song today. December 1st, that's when it's perfectly acceptable. Then play all the Christmas you want. I love it. December. I got me. Do you know what? I know you have. I've seen it on Facebook.
October.
I know.
October.
Do you know what we watched the other day? And it's cheesy. It's formulaic. It's almost a Hallmark movie, but I loved it for Kurt Russell. We watched Christmas. We watched the Christmas Chronicles midway through. No, hang on. Was it mid? Yeah, it would have been about like a week or so ago, wasn't it, that it come out?
22nd.
That's it. Didn't sit right with me, but I enjoyed it and I sat through it because who didn't want to see Kurt Russell playing Santa Claus?
Oh, nobody. That's who. It was awesome.
It was. I mean, look, it was completely formulaic. I knew everything that was going to happen in it. I didn't care. It was him. Yeah, it was Kurt Russell. That's what I came in to see. Kurt Russell as Santa Claus. Lovely.
No, it's a Christmas film. They get a pass with made Christmas films. They can be as awful as you like, but it's a Christmas film, so it's fine. It's only designed to make you feel nice and warm and snuggly. So it's fine.
See, my favourite Christmas film was always The Night the Reindeer Died.
With Lee Majors.
It's TV's Lee Majors, the $6 Million Man. No. Have you ever seen? Oh God, what is it? I can never remember the bleeding name of this Christmas film because you love your Christmas films. It's one that we used to watch a fair bit as kids, and it wasn't like it's not a particularly well-known one. I want to say it's something like The Night They Saved Christmas or something like that. And it's about these kids who are up almost near the North Pole. Their dad's He's like a drilling engineer or something, and they have to try and stop him from drilling into the North Pole. You know which one I'm on about?
They've shown this at the Bad Film Club. Obviously, my partner does the Bad Film Club, and they actually showed it one Christmas. It's pretty bad. It's almost as bad, not quite as bad, almost as bad as Christmas with a capital C.
I've never heard of Christmas with a capital C. Is that its full title?
Yeah, yes. It's ultra religious. It's ultra preachy. It's right wing Christian. Atheist comes back to the town that he was born in and immediately starts tearing down things like nativity scenes because they're anti-government and all this. And it turns out the reason he's like this is because he's lonely. Meanwhile, Ted McGinley's trying to talk sense into him and say, "No, you should believe in God." I mean, it's Christmas, isn't it? It's
TV's Ted McGinley.
TV's Ted McGinley. And,
but he was the voice of Aquaman. Hopefully.
I know. And the bad, naughty atheist is movies Daniel Baldwin. Well, they're clearly taking the piss out of Adam. Alec Baldwin. Adam would have been up for it. Stephen is ultra religious, so very.
Which was the one who played him on 30 Rock? You know, where it's like he's playing the character of Jack Donaghy, was it Adam?
I think it's Daniel. It could be Stephen. Right. I'm not sure. They're all the same, aren't they?
I don't think it's Steve.
Stephen's the younger one, and he's the one who's in Fred Claus.
Is he?
Which is he's in it. And have you ever seen Fred Claus?
Yeah, the one with Vince Vaughn where he plays Santa Claus' younger brother. Yeah,
it's a bit where they're in the Brothers Anonymous.
Oh,
Frank Stallone, and you got Bill Clinton's brother, Stephen's in that. And don't shout at me, Stephen. I'm not Alec. It's fantastic.
It's been a long time since I've watched that.
It'll be a long time before it's on actual telly again. It's on Sky, but it'll be a long time before it's on actual telly again because Kevin Spacey's in it. And,
oh, right, yeah.
But never mind. It's a shame because it's a really good film.
Well, the night they saved Christmas, as you've already rightly pointed out, is not. But it was something we had on videotape. And it actually, speaking of Christmas memories, it used to freak the crap out of me because it's got stop motion reindeer in it. Now,
yes.
If it's done well, I like stop motion. Nightmare Before Christmas, Corpse Bride, Frankenweenie, good Coraline, good looking stop motion animation. When it looks bad, it makes my skin crawl.
Well, that's what California Raisins stuff is. It's bad. It's always bad. And
do you know what?
Things.
Strangely, that doesn't bother me, and I don't know why. But
never liked it.
Oh, these reindeer, mate! I hated them. They made my skin itch so badly. I was just like, oh no, I don't like this. I don't like this. I hope they don't land on our roof at Christmas. They're nightmares. Are
they as bad as the reindeer out the Santa Claus? Because especially two, they're really bad.
The one, Tim Allen, the Santa. Yeah. Do you know what? Again, I've not seen them films in ages, and I've watched all three. No, yeah, I've watched all three of them. It's been so long. Are they puppets or are they CGI?
A combination of like CGI and puppetry. Yeah.
No, well, I imagine given the time, they've not aged very well.
Well, it was 2002 was the Santa Claus 2, so it's not that long ago.
Oh, right.
But there you go. Christmases then. What's the first Christmas you can remember?
Vividly. Probably be the
first
one
memory of Christmas.
Probably be the year I got a shitload of vinyl. Somebody, I don't know, because my mum denies it up and down, but I got given a load of vinyl singles for Christmas. I can't remember what else I got. Well, you say that, but it was stuff like I got Mr. Blobby.
Yeah, you've seen my record collection, right?
Well, yeah. I got Mr. Blobby. I want to say I got a Pet Shop Boys single. I got I can't remember if this was at Christmas or not, because I only had like a really small collection of vinyl singles. And
this would have been 93 if it's Mr. Blobby.
It's got to be. I remember getting. I think this was the same for this Christmas, but I definitely had. What was it? Slam Jam, the song done by The Undertaker. It was British Bulldog. Macho Man Randy Savage, and oh god, was it Bret the Hitman Hart? I think
it must have been because I think Hogan was gone by then, wasn't he? He was WCW by then.
This is it, and it's a terrible song. It is terrible.
Oh yeah.
But sometimes I just like to send the link to the video to my brother-in-law just to annoy him because he likes wrestling as much as himself. So it's fun to just wind him up from time to time. But that song is, mind you, he always retorts with, "There's another one," because they did a whole album of them.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I can't remember which one he keeps sending me back as well.
They're all awful, so it doesn't really matter. They're all bad.
Oh, I know.
Best one is the Bret the Hitman Hart one because it's not actually him singing. It's sort of sound bites of him.
Well, that's all that one, wasn't it? The Slam Jam.
Yeah, but they recorded it specifically for that. This wasn't even that. It was just bits they'd got off various promos that he'd done.
Oh, God.
Just it's like Bret couldn't be asked, basically. But he was the biggest star they had at the time.
Do you know? I think I've said this before, but there's a little part of me that kind of misses the lazy sort of like promo single, where it's just clips from a movie or clips from a TV program, something like that, interspersed with music from somebody else. That it's always terrible. That
with one of the worst offenders for that is actually Dragnet.
Oh God, yeah!
If I remember correctly, it was The Art of Noise as well, if I remember correctly. So it wasn't like it was some bloody Mickey Mouse outfit. It was the Art of Noise, and Dudley, who was proper conductor and everything now. And it is just voice clips from the movie over the Dragnet theme, and it's awful. I mean, it's not a great film anyway. It's all right, but and the other one is Planes, Trains and Automobiles. They do the same thing with that. You're messing with the wrong guy. I know this because I recorded them both off the telly.
Well, they had there was the Reaper rap in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey as well.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Which was like less of a rap than, a short poem, if anything, and just clips from the movie.
Yes.
They did one.
Lazy, isn't it?
There's another one, and again, I don't remember if I had this at Christmas or this was for a birthday, because the problem is, with my birthday being January 12th, it's so close to Christmas that with my kid brain, trying to remember childhood memories, they're very close together.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's difficult to remember if it's a birthday or a Christmas memory. So I do remember having on a vinyl single of, what was it? It was clips from Jerry Anderson programs like Stingray, Thunderbirds, Captain Scarlet. And again, it was like music, but it was them sort of like the theme songs kind of mixed together and all the different sound clips mixed together. I think it was called FAB.
FAB Mega Mix or something like that, because that's usually what it... Because they usually just, it's a mega mix. I remember once I got for Christmas, my auntie must have bought me this, but it was an album of 60 songs, but mega mixed, not Jive Bunny style, but just mixed together. So you never got the full song, you only got sort of half of the song, and then it just moved on to the next one. It's like, this is shit. This is terrible. This is just the worst thing ever. Just play the whole song. I'm not a fan of mega mix. It's like Grease mega mix. I just want to die. Because it's Grease, and I've got it die when Grease.
Here we are. It was called FAB featuring MC Parker, Thunderbirds Are Go.
Oh, dear, the fucking 90s. I'm assuming this is when Thunderbirds came back in sort of the early 90s.
That's
Tracy
it.
Island and all that.
That's it. Do you know, I've actually seen that original Tracy Island. They did like a BBC or Kids TV retrospective, and I went to the museum in Coventry and had a look at it, took the little ones, and they've got the original one from Blue Peter there.
The Anthony Turner one.
Yeah, that's it. My mum made me one, actually. It was dead good. Hell of a lot cheaper than buying one.
I'm guessing they wouldn't be allowed to do that these days, because the reason they did that was because supposedly they hadn't made enough. What it actually was is it was really expensive and people couldn't afford the playset. So I'm guessing whoever made, I'm thinking it was Character. I've got it in my head, it was Character Options. They would have sued the arse off BBC now, surely.
Shame, because that's a good thing to actually for help for parents and that.
Oh, absolutely. No, I completely agree. I thought it's one of the few times I thought Blue Peter was relevant to anything.
Yeah,
I always say, and this is totally the comedian John Maloney's joke, not mine. But I always say that Blue Peter is very much like the song "Panic," when Morrissey says says nothing to me about my life.
Yeah, I always felt like Blue Peter was the posh person telly.
Yeah, it was the middle class kids, not me.
Yeah, that's it. I was never interested in it. Same with Grange Hill? Whenever that was on.
I didn't mind Grange Hill. I was a bit older than you, so I've been watching it in the gritty, dirty 80s when Mr. Bronson was about. You boy! So I always watched it when it was. Yeah, it sort of lost its edge a bit. We should say that the guy who played the caretaker in Grange Hill sadly died this week.
Oh,
which is a big shame because he was a very good character. He'd been playing old men since his 30s because he just looked old. But there you go. That's he was sad to lose him, but he was 93 to be fair. He
had a good innings.
Exactly, not bad innings at all.
Well, actually, I derailed you once again. So one of my earlier Christmas memories would probably be the year when I got the Ghostbusters Firehouse and Ecto One. They're real Ghostbusters play sets, and I think I got a set of all four of the fright figures, the ones where you like squoze the legs and they'd pull a face.
Yes. They were epic.
Well, by the time, obviously, I was sort of old enough to be playing with those toys, they'd moved well past the original Basic 4, where it was like a proton pack, and you got one of them little crappy plastic gun, and you'd have a figure that would have some kind of gimmick.
Yeah, because obviously the original ones, you just got the proton pack and the twirly thing for the stream, and it was gimmick heavy, and you had the ghost, like the little granny that you pull the hat, and they got a third eye, and basically her whole body became a jaw.
Yep,
and the cop. I remember the cop.
Yep. Well, there was the garbage bin man that turned into like a giant insect. The American football player that, like, I think you doubled him over and he got a giant mouth come out of his back. I can't remember what the copper turned into. There was a postal worker as well. And then there was a bloke who rode like a moped that turned into a ghost, as well as he turned also into a ghost when his top half just split open. Do you know what, looking back, I had that car, the one that turned into a mantis. Yeah. But do you know what, looking back, especially these human figures, like thinking about it, they're really horrific for saying the kids' toys.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, real Ghostbusters didn't hold back. If you actually watched the show, it didn't hold back at all on the frights. It actively went to freak you out a lot of the time, which is why it was awesome. People like things that do that. They don't like sanitized bullshit, and kids especially. So you got so many Lovecraft references in the real Ghostbusters, because J. Michael Straczynski really liked Lovecraft. So you got like sort of the Collect Call to Cthulhu and things like that, and all kinds of references like that.
Didn't they have a character? Wasn't there Cat Cthulhu as well? I can't remember.
Yeah, Cat Cthulhu. Yeah, because they were frightened that they get sued by Lovecraft.
Oh, right.
So they had Cat Cthulhu. But they had things like Sam Hain as well, and the Sandman. The Sandman! That's a really freakish, awesome episode.
The Boogeyman always freaked me out as well, with his giant, oversized head.
Absolutely. It was fantastic, and the toys were really good as well. They're supposed to be bringing out real Ghostbusters toys for the Ghostbusters Classics line this year, myself.
Oh, nice. As much as I like them, like, sort of doll-esque ones, it's not the same. You want them proper moulded plastic like the originals.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No. Well, no, they brought them out. I think they're bringing out the moulded plastic versions. I think that's what they're after doing this year. So
nice.
I will definitely buy those if I see them, because they're awesome.
See, I think that year was also the year I got my Proton Pack.
Oh, yes, I knew some of it. And the trap as well was pretty good.
I got the trap for me. That I definitely remember. I got that for my birthday, because I remember I played with it a few times, and this is a common fault with it. The glue that held the actual pipe in was pretty crap. I think I mentioned this when the first time I came on when I was chatting about the Ghostbusters, and it always comes out every time, and you can't glue it back in properly because it's plastic, so it just eats through the glue. Eats through the plastic. And no matter how much you push it in, it doesn't work properly. Once the pipes come out, it's gone. It's just there for it's just a nice bit of costuming.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. I mean, there was an issue as well because obviously Mattel did another version, like a more updated version and a posh sort of adult version of the trap, but you couldn't get it over here. You couldn't get it delivered over here anyway. They wouldn't send it. So it was a case of you had to know somebody in America who could get it and then send it to you. I think they did that with the PKE meter as well. But my friend Andy, friend of the podcast, comes on all the time. He actually made a PKE meter out of Lego.
Nice.
And he was amazing. It was amazing. He had all LEDs in it that he'd soldered and all that kind of, because he was very good at that kind of thing. Made little noises and all kinds of stuff, and the top part popped out and went up and down. It was a bit of a MacGyver.
Do you know, I'm always really impressed by people who can do that sort of thing. Like when you go to, I mean, the best one I've got is MCon. When you go to MCon, they've always got like the UK Ghostbuster blokes there chilling outside. Because I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen it. There's a photo of me with two of them. Because I saw them outside. I was like, do you mind if I get a photo of you two? And they were like, do you mind finishing? Do you mind if we wait till we finished our smokes? And I was like, well, I'll spark up, mate. It seems very Ghostbusters-y, really, that you should be having a cigarette, if you ask me. Yeah, and they just laughed. They just laughed and went, "Yeah, you're right, actually."
Because that's all they do in that first film, is smoke.
Yeah. So there's me. There's me and one done up in Ghostbusters 2 style coveralls, and the other one done up in regular. I think he's wearing the goggles. And the proton packs that they've made are fantastic. They're so good. They're so detailed. Like, I couldn't do it at all. I've not got the patience. This is why I could never get into Warhammer. It's too fiddly. I haven't got the time for it or the patience or the dexterity.
No, that's why I can't get back into it. I've not got the dexterity. My fingers don't work like that anymore. Too old.
I rolled a 1 in dexterity. I think is that a thing?
That's pretty bad. I think. Yeah. I think that's D&D, isn't it?
Again,
I never played D&D.
Too much maths involved for my tiny brain.
So there we go. So what sort of Christmas specials would you and do you watch from years gone by? So what can you remember watching as a kid, and what do you sort of watch now?
There's only really one Christmas special that comes to mind, and that's Morecambe and Wise. We always used to love watching the Morecambe and Wise Christmas specials, whether it was the repeats or, well, obviously by that point they were all repeats, but love Morecambe and Wise. My granddad used to absolutely adore them. And, we'll still do, I mean, me and my dad will still do stupid things that my granddad used to do. He'd quite frequently get hold of the family dog and he'd say to the dog, like, "What do you think of the show so far?" And very gently massage the dog's mouth to go, "Rubbish."
Rubbish.
That's it. Just stupid stuff like that. Or he'd do the bag trick where, he'd throw nothing up and then let the bag go snap.
Yeah.
What else? Just love Morecambe and Wise.
There's one line that he says that both me and my partner love, but it reminds me of my granddad, and it's when the cop car goes past when they're in bed.
He's never going to sell any
He's
ice
never going to sell ice cream. He's going that fast.
Yeah, I say that every time I hear a siren.
It's it's a classic line. It really is a classic line. And those Christmas specials, they're still showing them, and people who were never even near Morecambe and Wise being alive love them, because I don't know, it's just comedy like that is universal.
Well, it's
there was that and the Two Ronnies, which I love the Two Ronnies as well.
I think the reason that people like it and the reason it's so timeless is because it's harmless, but it's still clever.
Yeah, and there's a lot of warmth there as well. They're just, you can tell they're having a blast making it. You can tell they're having fun. You can tell there's affection between them. And they wanted to put on a good show. And that doesn't always happen these days. Didn't always happen then. For every Morecambe and Wise, ladies and gentlemen, there are just as many fucking Mike Yarwoods. Or bloody Bernard Mannings, or Love Thy Neighbour Christmas specials. There is a lot of shite that was on television back then, as we will find out later on, probably.
I'll tell you what is a good Christmas special, or a Christmas episode that I enjoyed, which was I was really like, and again, this was one of my top 10 when we did the Ghostbusters. It's the one where they somehow travel back in time and then bust the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future, and they have to reenact it for Ebenezer Scrooge so that he becomes a good person.
A Christmas humbug.
That's it. I've always really liked that. That's a good Christmas. That's a good Christmas episode of a TV program. I'm trying to think of some others now. I can't think of any that really stuck in my head.
I mean, you got your usual ones. The LOLOs and the sort of Are You Being Served When I Was a Kid. And then obviously you got later on Blackadder's Christmas Carol, which is always a classic, which we talked about with Jenny and Glyn. Yeah, I mean, you'll find them all on Netflix, basically.
We always used to watch... Sorry, mate.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, we always used to watch more films than anything.
So what films are sort of your Christmas films? What are your go-tos? And they don't have to be Christmas films, just films that are on at Christmas. Here's an example. For me, Raiders of the Lost Ark will always be a Christmassy film because it was premiered at Christmas Day. So to me, that means I first saw it on a Christmas. Ghostbusters, again, that's another one. Christmas 1987, that was on.
See, I've got two lists: actual Christmas films, and then films that are set at Christmas that I like to watch at Christmas.
Yeah.
So you've Christmas films, it's all obvious stuff. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Elf, Muppets Christmas Carol. I do kind of like watching Santa Claus the movie when I get closer to the time. The one with Dudley Moore and John Lithgow.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that at all.
It's a terrible film, but I don't know why. But I was a kid when I watched it, and there's something about it that just makes me, like the guy who plays Santa Claus is great.
He's very Santa Clausy. He is very Santa. There's only one person who out Santa Clauses him, and that's Richard Attenborough in Miracle on 34th Street.
Do you know what? And you're going to get annoyed with me. Never watched it.
You should see it. It's on Film 4 all the time.
Yeah, I'd never watched it, and I think
it's a fantastic film.
I think it's one of Amy's favourites. I'm sure we'll wind up watching it this year. But what other Christmas? I'm struggling now. Now I'm put on the spot to remember actual Christmas films because you've got to watch all them. Obviously, they're all the big name ones. But I mean, when it comes to films that are set at Christmas, Die Hard, obviously.
Die Hard, yeah.
Lethal Weapon. Batman Returns, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I've been debating this one for a while, but I'm pretty confident In Bruges is set at Christmas.
Thereabouts, yeah.
Yeah, I can never, because I was having an argument with Rich, Stacey's husband, as to whether or not it's just set in winter or if it's set in Christmas, but I'm pretty sure it's Christmas, but either way, it's a good film. What else? I had a great long list. Oh, Christmas films, Scrooged.
Yes.
Obviously. I can't even believe I couldn't remember that.
The Albert Finney Scrooge as well is fantastic.
What
musical.
What else? Oh, this is gonna annoy me. This is. Well, what about Glenn Jakeman? What are Glenn Jakeman's favourite Christmas films, like actual proper Christmas films?
Well, if you're talking proper ones, Scrooged is up there, as is Christmas Vacation. I love Christmas Vacation. That's probably my favourite. Because I just love Clark Griswold. I love the character. He just wants everybody to have a nice time, and nobody's playing ball. It's not his fault. Anything goes wrong. The only person who seems to be on his side is Cousin Eddie. And I always say this, as badly as everybody thinks Cousin Eddie is, the minute that Clark is upset, he goes out and gets his boss. Brian Doyle Murray. He immediately gets him. He doesn't even think twice about it. It's like, no, I'm going to get him. I'm going to stick up for Clark. And it's like, as much shit as everybody gives Cousin Eddie in those films, he's the only one who sticks up for Clark. But I love Chevy Chase. He's probably one of my favourite actors ever. So it's like just him in a film. And it's Christmas. And Johnny Galecki's in it as well.
And a young...
Juliet.
That's
Lewis.
it, yes. I couldn't even think of a name then.
Before she got gripped by the claws of Scientology.
Yeah, that's it. She wouldn't make a Christmas movie these days.
No, she wouldn't. Not unless Xenu says it was all right.
Yeah, that is very true. Unless it had Space Boeing 747s in it.
But obviously we've talked about Scrooge before.
Yes.
And it is such a fantastic film. And like all of the best Christmas films, it was made by a Jew. So... but It's a Wonderful Life as well. I know it's corny, I know it's sappy, but I love It's a Wonderful Life. To me, that is and yet it is one of the, if you analyse it, it's one of the darkest films you will ever watch in your life.
Well, it's all about a man thinking about committing suicide, isn't it?
Yeah, because he's going to go to prison for insurance fraud and basically stealing the money of the people of the buildings and loan. And the future, so it's a sci-fi movie as well. People don't realise this. It's set in an alternate future, some of it. You know, Clarence shows him what his life would be like if he wasn't there. And it's that bit where he says, oh, my brother was a war hero. He saved thousands of lives on that ship. He says, no, brother wasn't there to save him because you weren't there to save him. All the people on that ship died. I'm thinking, fuck me, this is pitch black.
I'll have to finally get around to watching it this year.
It's amazing. It's such a good film. And yeah, like I say, it's tarred with the, oh, it's schmaltzy. Yes, there are bits which are very schmaltzy. And no, I can't watch it without crying. I don't think, if I've never known anybody who can. And if you say you can, you're a liar. Because it's not that kind of film.
Is it a void comp test? Is it to make sure that they're not a replicant?
Yes, pretty much. If you don't cry at it, you are basically Roy Batty.
I feel that way about the ending to The Iron Giant. Now, I know that's not a Christmas film, but...
Oh, no, well, they showed at Christmas a lot. It's that bit where he flies up and says Superman.
Yeah, oh, God. I mean...
Oh, no!
Amy makes fun of me constantly about that. And I'm not going to apologise. At all.
No, it's a really sad bit of the film. And yet it's also this robot who is programmed to do something commits a completely selfless act. And it's Vin Diesel, and Vin Diesel is for some reason, he's very good at voice acting and making people cry, because tell me you didn't cry when Groot said, "We are Groot," and then got blown up. Come on now.
No, I'd be lying if I denied that.
He just seems to be very, very good at it. But no, I would certainly say Iron Giant. Another one that I always associate with Christmas, even though it's not a Christmas film, is Enemy Mine with Dennis Quaid and Lou Gossett Jr.
I've never seen that film. I've got it, but I've always wanted to, Brilliant. But I just never. Every time I get a bit of time to myself, I forget it's there.
Yeah, seriously, mate, it's one of my favourite ever films.
I think we've talked about that briefly, because I get confused by the fact that I thought it was set in a mine.
Yes, some of it is.
Oh, well, then fair enough. That gives lend credence to the title.
Yes, so some of it is set in a mine, kind of. But no, it's again fantastic film.
Shouldn't it be enemy, mine?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's the use of the Oxford comma. I think it's because it got a triple meaning in it. So, but it's always best to watch in a double feature as Enemy Mine with Alien Nation.
Love that film.
Which again, double meaning. It's Alienation and Alien Nation.
Do you know what?
The series of that was good as well.
I sat all the way through Bright and I said, I like this film, but it's not Alien Nation.
No, that's what I was thinking as well. Yeah, it's clearly Alien Nation. And no Terence Stamp in it though.
No Mandy Patinkin either. That's always a loss.
Absolutely, and it's James Caan, isn't it, in the film?
That's it, and he's not punching women or anything, so it's you can sit back and watch it and not feel uncomfortable.
No, well, he's in Elf as well, isn't he?
Yes.
The other good thing about Elf, I will say, is it does give us, or it gave me, the complete joy that is Peter Dinklage. I'd never seen Peter Dinklage before that film, and I'm like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? Who's this presence? And it's like, it's not even the fact that somebody had to point it out to me, oh, he's like a dwarf. It's like, is he? Or is he just awesome? He's this fucking little Orson Welles fucking running around. He's amazing. Oh, I love Peter Dinklage so much, and he's so funny in that. So if you say that one more time, I'm going to go over this desk and punch your lights out. So he's an angry elf.
I'm
fantastic as Elf.
Looking forward to popping that back on again.
I'm looking forward to that, and he's bringing out another film this Christmas as well, Holmes and Watson, which is going to annoy loads of people, I'm assuming.
It probably will, but I really like him and John C. Reilly together.
Oh, me too. We can't wait. I mean, obviously my partner's a massive Sherlock Holmes fan. She's written books on the subject. She can't wait. Because it's them two cocking about, and they're always good. I mean, what thing gets me is that John C. Reilly is like an Oscar-nominated actor. He's like won Tonys, I think, as well. It's like as soon as he gets a chance to cock about and be silly with Will Ferrell, that's exactly what he's going to do. So,
and he's really good at it. He really shouldn't be as funny as he is and be so good at being a serious actor.
Absolutely, especially in things like Step Brothers, which is an awesome film. So much more room for activity. Again, that's set at Christmas, part of that set at Christmas.
That is true.
Admittedly, it's the lowest point of the film.
See, Ghostbusters 2, although I class it as a New Year movie, is also kind of a Christmas movie because it happens around Christmas time as well.
Absolutely. We've got that famous shot of them all running down the street in the Santa hats.
That's it.
I love Ghostbusters too. I know people don't like it. It's not cool to like it, apparently. Sod that. I love it. It's fantastic fun.
Never understood that myself. I like the slime tanks.
It's real Ghostbusters. That's all it is. It's the real Ghostbusters made live action. So I have no problem with that. We shall move on from that to the year of your birth, which is, as we said, 1986. And let's have a look at some of the Christmas telly that was on. So I'll take a look at Christmas Eve, and I'll tell you what was on certain times. So you've got your general stuff. 9:20 a.m. They obviously had nothing else to show because Baba and Father Christmas. Baba is a dreadful, horrible thing.
The Elephant King.
That's it. The posh elephant.
Oh, I always hated that show when it was on. Was it on Channel 4?
No, it was on BBC. This is BBC at 9:20 a.m.
Really?
But before that they'd had the heady excitement of play chess.
Oh God!
Where they taught you how to play chess.
What a wonderful, exciting, thrilling Christmas lineup this sounds like.
Oh no, it was dreadful, absolutely dreadful. Speaking of dreadful, Keith and Orville's Christmas Circus.
Do you know what, funnily enough, I saw Keith and Orville at Blackpool Circus when I was a kid. Yes,
I do. It wasn't at the circus, I think it was in a theatre. But I don't remember anything about it other than really laughing at Cuddles because I liked Cuddles. He was funny. Should have just stuck with Cuddles. I get the feeling Cuddles he could have done in sort of a working man's club environment. Be quite rude and bawdy with it. But he was stuck with this fucking duck. And I don't think he liked being with that duck. But there you go. But no, the heady excitement of Keith and Orville's. You know, kids, especially in '86, kids liked Dana. Fucking hell. And then a collection of people I've never heard of. Eli Woods. No. Ronnie Brody. Los Martinos. Robbie Barnett and the Circus Dancers. No.
Do you know what? A little part of me does kind of enjoy looking at these sort of like old Christmas variety show lineups, especially when my dad gets to point out and goes, "Yeah, that were him off what such and such." I was like, "Oh my God, no, don't know what you're talking about, Dad." And he completely remembers it with vivid detail.
Oh, I'm the same. I remember things with definitely rose-tinted glasses and like people are like, what is this shit? It's like every Christmas, you will watch your two Ronnies and when they're introducing the musical guests, it's always, ladies and gentlemen, it's Barbara Dixon, even though it isn't. It's going to be someone else, but it was always seemed to be Barbara Dixon for some reason. There you go. After the heady excitement of Keith and Orville was a program which I never understood. It was Junior Kickstart, which is watching kids on dirt bikes do courses and get injured for some reason. It's just odd. Really, 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 really odd. We'll go to, here we go, 2 o'clock. Here's one that'll never get shown again. Rolf Harris Cartoon Time.
Oh, God. Was that the one where he'd sit at the desk and he'd draw something at the end and then always show you Looney Tunes cartoon?
That's it.
Oh, God, I used to love that as a kid.
Yep, and then you grow up and think,
yeah.
You ruined it. Never mind. Oh, speaking of which, we'll do the Box of Delights first. That was on at 4:20, which was awesome. I loved Box of Delights. That is Christmassy. That is pure Christmas, is that?
Do you know what? I've just opened the link you've sent me, and I got really excited when I saw what was it, the Family Ness and the Muppet Babies, and then I realised that hang on a minute, that's the 20th. Oh well.
Yeah.
So I'm scrolling down, trying to catch up with you.
Not lucky today.
Here we go.
So yeah, 5:20 p.m. Yet another of the will file away under probably not going to get shown again. Jim will fix it. Dear Jim, God. Dear Jim, please can I collect the Trafalgar Square Christmas tree, run a baby clinic, find Aladdin's lamp, be a Christmas parcel, and I'm guessing the last one was please on no account be left alone with Jim. But there you go. Oh, this is a weird film to show at this time. 6:20, Mr. Mum, 1983, starring Michael Keaton.
A very Christmassy film.
Yeah, no. Good film, not Christmassy. And then 7:50 p.m. This is weird. Child Watch update. Esther Ransom presents an update on Child Watch, the programme which examines cruelty to children. Christmas Eve, lads. Keep it light. Keep it light. I saw this one the other day. 8 o'clock. The Two Ronnies. Christmas programme with sketches and jokes and songs. Special guests Elaine Page and Patrick Troughton. The Patrick Troughton sketch is really clever. and I'm guessing it's one Ray Barker wrote. But it's basically a man's on trial, and it incorporates loads of game shows, so it turns everything into a game show.
Right.
And they get it's really clever sketch. It's a really good sketch, and people should watch it. I'm guessing it was on a Wednesday. It was on a Wednesday. It was Christmas Eve that year because 9:20 p.m. Dallas. Nothing stopped for Dallas in the 80s. Not even Christmas Eve. You watched Dallas.
Did I not see? Is he before or after Dallas? Is Wogan?
Wogan's after because it was a special that year. He went to. I've seen this. It's a weird one. Larry Hagman was on it and Linda Gray was on it because he was into Dallas at the time. And then they think the year after they did a special where he went to Dynasty set, and it was a weird thing. It was the conceit was that he went to. I can't remember what that. I know it's South Fork Dallas, but the South Fork version on Dynasty, he went there to supposedly speak with the characters of Dynasty, but in actual fact, he was just talking to people like John Forsyth. So instead of Blake Carrington, he was clearly just talking to John Forsyth. Because the American... Yeah, he's the guy who plays Lou in Scrooged.
No, I was... Every time I hear Forsyth, I can't help but think of... Yeah, Bruce Forsyth. The pronunciation from... oh, God, was it Toast to London?
Yes, Forsyth!
Sorry, derailing again. No, I brought up that's what made Wogan stand out to me was the fact that it's straight after Dallas, and wasn't he one of the big factors for that program doing well in this country? Like he constantly talked about it.
Yep, absolutely. He sort of got everybody really excited for it on the radio, and he was a massive reason. It was a huge program. I mean, it was huge. I mean, it was at the centre of. Well, no, it wasn't at the centre of the BBC's Christmas Eve schedule. It happened to be in the centre, and they wouldn't move it because it was that popular. You don't move it. And normally, this is back in the days when soaps didn't mean shit to the BBC. So EastEnders, if it happened to be on the day that Christmas Day was, they'd show it, but they wouldn't make it a Christmas Day thing. Yeah, very odd. This one I've seen as well. Christmas Eve with Val Doonican, 10:45. Val at home in the studio. He's got special guest Dennis Taylor, who he does a few trick shots with. This is on the snooker because that was the year Dennis Taylor had won the snooker in the black ball final, the famous final that everybody stayed up to watch. It was all late for work the day after. And Scott's percussion virtuoso Evelyn Glennie. Evelyn Glennie famously profoundly deaf. That's why she was a good percussionist, apparently. Yeah.
See, I'm learning things. This is why I enjoy coming on. I'm always learning stuff from you, sir.
Oh, there you go. Christmas Day, bit different. Christmas Morning with Noel, because that's when you had Christmas Morning with Noel at 11:30. Massive. I'm guessing he's not going to do it this year. Don't count him out. He says he'll retire if he wins. I don't think he will. I think he'll get a TV show out of it. Guaranteed.
See, you've skipped over something a little bit earlier on in the day.
Oh, what's this now? Roland Rat the Series?
Roland Rat the Series Christmas special. Yeah!
Hey, Rat Baines! No, that was completely on purpose, mate, because it wasn't very good. He's lost when he moved to the BBC, they effectively neutered him, and everything that was good about Roland Rat was sort of destroyed because he was heavily scripted, and because on TVAM he just said what he wanted to say, and fuck it. It was kind of like Gilbert when it was Phil Cornwall, on Get Fresh when he was Gilbert Goz.
I don't think it was Get Fresh, one of the Saturday morning
with gas
program
top
blocks.
And it was a similar sort of deal with Roland. So you have the puppeteers puppeteering the alien, and Phil Cornwall was doing the voice. Well, Phil Cornwall, the comedian, and apparently was heavily coked up at the time, and just basically said what he wanted. But there you go. Top of the Pops Christmas party at 2 p.m, which was always shit. It was Gary Davis, Janice Long, Peter Powell, and Simon Bates. Ooh, saucy. Obviously, Queenie spoke at 3 p.m. and told everyone they were good. And then one of the worst films I've ever seen, Annie the Musical, at 3:10 p.m. You see, this is the year that EastEnders did fall on a Thursday. Now, EastEnders Day was Thursday. And it was a weird episode of EastEnders because nothing really happened in it.
I mean, you could argue that not a lot happens in general.
Yeah. It's, yeah.
Depending on your love for the soap, of which, as I'm pretty sure my comment has just very clearly shown, I couldn't give less of a toss if I tried.
I've never watched it. I used to watch it in the very, very, very early days. I actually got a question right on something. I can't remember what it was, but the question was what the first lines to be spoken in EastEnders, and it's it stinks in here, or worse to that effect, because they go into Reg Cox's flat, and Reg Cox is dead. Turns out that Nick Cotton had killed him years later. You found out, but you never saw Reg Cox ever. He's just a character that had died before the series began. That was the whole point.
Can I just point out you've glossed over something else as well? You've shot straight past the Russ Abbott Christmas show.
Well, you say that. Again, that was a show that sort of lost its teeth when it went to BBC, because obviously you had the Madhouse on the ITV before. I always preferred Russ Abbott's Madhouse. BBC show was a bit too safe. Not that it was ever cutting-edge comedy, but you know what I mean. They got away with a lot less on the BBC. As you do.
And with the young Les Dennis as well in the cast.
The Only Fools and Horses, well, it doesn't say which one it is. I think it's To Hull and Back. I think, but I can't remember. And To Hull and Back is one of the classic episodes. It's the one where the diamond smuggling, basically.
Is that the one where it's the Jolly Boys outing?
No.
No.
That's 88. I think that one is fucking excellent because they all go to Margate, don't they?
It's not. Is this one got Jim Broadbent in?
No.
Ah, right.
He's on the Jolly Boys outing, though, isn't he, Slater?
Yeah. No, I always liked the episodes with Slater.
I was like Slater. It's funny because Jim Broadbent was actually first in line to be Del Boy, wasn't he?
Yeah, what a weird parallel dimension that is.
That would be odd. I would pay good money to have seen that.
I mean, I would, but at the same time, I don't know. David Jason is, you know.
Yeah. Oh, it's difficult to get that image out of your head as Del Boy, David Jason. But I do like the Jolly Boys outing. It's just that bit where, he's really drunk, isn't he? Just put him in the back, it'll be all right. What do you mean, put him in the back? He's the driver. Fucking love Boise. I love Boise. He's my favourite character in pretty much anything. Marlene.
My favourite was the one where it's the first one with Slater, and where they're in the nick and they're getting their different. They're trying to get a description of a person who's nicked a microwave. And it's the way that Del Boy manages to stitch him up at the end, and he's just got the most smug look on his face, and his look of just despair when he realises he's been played like a fiddle by somebody who is, you know, just a working class. Well, small-time criminal, really, isn't he, when you think about it? And he's completely ruined him. Just like, he's like, you just didn't catch him at all.
Then he turned out to be Raquel's ex-husband as well, didn't he?
Oh, God, yeah.
No, it wasn't very nice, was Slater.
Oh, I'm a Only Fools. Anyway, sorry, derailing again.
The big film that year was at 10:40pm. They did have Miss Marple as well, but the big film was actually Educating Rita, starring Michael Caine and Julie Walters. Good film. I kind of remember it being on-ish. Yeah, good film. So 1986 on ITV was a bit different. Like I said, they don't really give a shit on ITV, especially at this point. This is the point where they really start not to care, though. The worst year was 93, I think it was 93 or 95, where the ITC actually had a go at them and said, you have to put better stuff than this on at Christmas. They got told off for putting shit on at Christmas. But this isn't quite there yet, but it's not far off. They start off with the usual Good Morning Britain and Whack a Day and Tickle on the Tum and things like that. And then they have The Legend of the Lone Ranger 1981 starring, this is amazing, Clinton Spilsbury, don't know who that is, Michael Horse in The Lone Ranger, come on now, and Christopher Lloyd. I've never seen that film. I really don't want to. And then they showed, I wish they wouldn't do this. 1:30pm, Disney at Christmas. So you think, ooh, good, Disney. Rob Roy, The Highland Rogue, 1953. For fuck's sake. Don't put shitty, boring live-action Disney. They always used to do that, put shitty live-action Disney films on. You don't want to see the live-action. I don't want to see 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's not a good film. Or In Search of the Castaways, or Long John Silver, or any of that bollocks. Show me Fantasia, or show me Peter Pan. Show me a good Disney film.
Sorry, I've just had somebody coming in,
That's all right.
giving me a slight chewing off of the earlobe.
Oh dear.
About the kids.
Oh dear, am I keeping you?
No, don't you worry.
Oh, okay. That's
No. I'll tell you. I'll tell you why what happened once we finished recording.
Yes, please. Yeah, don't broadcast it for God's sake. But there you go. And then 3:10, Pass the Book Celebrity Special. Now, Pass the Book was a shitty game show that nobody cared about. It was gone in a season. And yeah, they saw fit to broadcast that at 3:10 on a Christmas Day.
I'm trying to find because I've
got
not
on a Christmas Day. I do. Sorry, that was Christmas Eve. I apologise, not Christmas Day. Then Jambo, the Gentle Giant, a whole documentary on the gorilla that protected a child that fell into a compound at Jersey Zoo. A whole documentary about that. Ooh.
Oh, do you know what? It sounds like nothing but good fun from ITV.
Oh, they just didn't care. Here's an example. This Is Your Life on at 7, which it would be anyway, because it's a Wednesday. 7:30 Coronation Street, because it's a Wednesday. And then at 8 o'clock for an hour, Jim Davidson in Germany with Diane Solomon, and worst of all, Richard fucking Digance. Oh, my word.
Well, again, Jim Davidson, there's somebody he's not going to have a Christmas special. Not nowadays, anyway.
Thank Christ for that.
Oh, I'm not lamenting that fact.
No, I don't think anyone is. 9 o'clock, the movie premiere from 1955, Hitchcock's The Trouble with Harry. 1955 at 9 p.m. on ITV on Christmas Special.
So not even like a well-known Hitchcock film then?
Nope. 11 o'clock, Freshfield Special, which should have been, well, it's a repeat anyway, but that should have been on earlier on in the night, and that was it. Christmas Day's even worse. Apart from TVAM featuring Mask, Flipper and Transformers.
There we go. Sorry, I finally caught up with you because I was struggling to find ITV for the listings, but yeah, I spotted Mask and Transformers. I thought you'd be happy with that.
Yeah, that'll do. That's fine. And then Usual Religion, which is fine. It's Christmas. There you go. 11 a.m. This is more like it. He-Man and She-Ra Christmas Special. And then they ruin it by putting on the Swiss Family Robinson from 1959. Disney again. It was cheap to show Disney films, the live action ones.
Well, they got Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day on slightly earlier, although that's not really a film, is it? I suppose it's just it's more of a short, I suppose, in comparison to. Yeah. It's not an actual film. Oh dear.
Again, Queenie was on at 3 o'clock. Now, the big premiere, I remember this being a big thing at the time. This was all right. Dumbo, 1941. But it was the first time it had ever been shown on British television. It was a massive thing.
Oh, man, I tell you what, it's so weird, isn't it, seeing like the premiere and it's something that's 3 years old in comparison to now where it'd probably be like 1 to 2 years max.
Well, this was like more than this is like 45 years old.
No, I know.
I know, yeah.
Because it's Disney, isn't it? And, I mean, they've got their own weird rules about things. But, I mean, I was looking at one slightly further down the list, which I'm sure you're going to come to in a minute, and some of the ones that were from before, where it's like there's a 3-year gap.
Oh, absolutely.
Between the time that it's been on the telly and out of the cinema.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously the big nighttime ITV stuff started at 6:30 p.m. with James Bond, because James Bond was Christmas and it's still associated. Hasn't really been a thing since sort of the mid-90s as James Bond at Christmas, but this isn't even an official one. It's Never Say Never Again, which, if I remember correctly, isn't an official Bond film.
Isn't it the one where it's like it's basically a remake of Thunderball?
Yeah, it's Sean Connery, and it's the whole title is a play on the fact that he said he would never again play James Bond, and he did. But like I say, it's not an official Bond. Because at that point,
the others are MGM, and this one's, or is it the other way around? This one's MGM, and the others are a different company. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember what company name is now. But yeah, it's exactly like it wasn't one of the Broccolis.
4:20 p.m. stuck out to me as something else that you wouldn't see on telly anymore.
Oh, Strike It Lucky with Michael Barrymore?
Yeah.
Probably not. Although they do show it on Challenge a lot. So because really, I mean, he was, he did nothing wrong. He was judged by a court of law to have done nothing wrong. So I guess. But after James Bond, you got A Duty Free Christmas. again, nowhere should that be on our Christmas Day for an hour. And then they just showed another film. Movie premiere, Agatha Christie's Dead Man's Folly from 1986. It's not even one of the good ones, but it's a Poirot because Ustinov's in it. So, but again, it's not great, is it?
I don't know. I enjoyed the lineup for the Cinderella panto they've got on. Roy Kinnear.
Yeah, Danny LaRue.
Danny LaRue, Roy Kinnear.
Jimmy Cricket.
Cheryl Baker. Look at that.
Yeah. Brian Murphy, who at that point wasn't George anymore.
Michael Howe.
Oh. I don't even know what Michael Howe is.
Wasn't he on the news, or am I cracking up, or is he or am I going mad? I could be cracking up.
Could be. Who knows? Regardless, that pantomime is lost to time. I've never seen it anywhere, and quite frankly, I'm all right with that. But yeah, very, very. The past is a different country, especially ITV. They just used to show films a lot because, like I said, the advertising slots on there were worth practically nothing because nobody wanted to advertise on Christmas Day. What's the point? You can't go out and buy anything. They were mainly at that point. So how it used to work, it doesn't work so much like this anymore because they don't really, it's not a thing anymore. But it used to be Christmas stuff, Christmas stuff, Christmas stuff, Christmas stuff. And then as soon as Christmas Day hit, it was sales and holidays. So there's lots of adverts for brochures. Well, of course, brochures aren't really a thing anymore. You just go on the internet, don't you? But yeah, it always used to be loads of travel companies, so Thompson, Lumpolly, that kind of thing. And like I say, Debenhams sale. Well, Debenhams can't afford sales anymore. Plus the fact that sales go on all year round.
Yeah, it's not like an end of year thing anymore, is it?
No, which is weird because in France it is. You're only allowed to sale every 6 months.
Oh, I've just looked ahead to Boxing Day. You'll like this. Movie premiere, Airplane 2, the sequel.
Yes, I like Airplane 2. It's a good one. I know a lot of people like that one, but I really do. But yeah, that was Christmas Day on those years, on 1986.
Sorry, the year of my birth was such a disappointment for Christmas telly.
Well, I wouldn't have given a shit because I was playing with my toys. But I suppose if you wanted to watch the telly, it was slim pickings.
And I would have been barely conscious, so it wouldn't have even fazed me.
Which, to be fair, isn't that much different than this year.
This is very true, but for completely different reasons.
Absolutely. Well, you'll be still stuck on your back with a bottle in your mouth.
Well, no, what will most likely be the case, because the kids have... Father Christmas has brought a Switch for the little ones, and there's a good chance that I'll have to test it first to make sure it's all working fine.
Well, yes, that's the reason you'll have to test it.
Well, look, you've got to make sure that all the cables are plugged in, and then that everything's running fine. Yeah. You know, you've got to get all the bugs out of it. I've got to make sure that everything's appropriate for them. Even Mario Kart, I've got to make sure it's age appropriate for them before they put it on. Absolutely, yeah. You're doing them a favour. I like to think so.
There we go.
Any excuse.
Well, absolutely. Excellent stuff. There you go. Duncan, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Glenn, it's always a pleasure being on, mate.
As always, we'll have you back after the new year, I would imagine.
I'll be here. You know the drill.
Excellent stuff. We shall get you on for sure. Is there anything you'd like to plug again before you go?
Just the usual. Stace Bob and the Dweebs. Monthly, yeah, out when it's out. Keep your eyes peeled. There we go.
Keep your ears to the ground.
That's the one.
Excellent stuff. If you want to follow us on Facebook, then you can do. It's facebook.com/BTTEpod. There's generally content on there every night, so do have a look at that. Just not weekends. I've decided not to do weekends anymore because, well, you need time off to yourself, don't you? You need a bit of a rest, don't you?
Everyone needs a break, mate.
Exactly. But other than that, and obviously it's going to be Christmassy content as well, so do keep an eye on there. Same as on Twitter, @BTTEpod, same again. If you want to follow me, it's Glenn Jakeman on Facebook. Please do send me a message before you add me. And on Twitter, it's @CumryNerdCave, spelled as it sounds, pretty much. There you go. Excellent stuff. Well, Duncan, if I don't see you before, have a very good Christmas.
And the same to yourself. The same to yourself, sir. I can't even speak. Feliz Navidad, Silent Night, all that. You know, Little Drummer Boy, other Christmas things.
Yes, absolutely. Underneath the tree. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. And Robert Goulet's old-fashioned Cajun Christmas.
Silver. With an alligator chasing. Excellent stuff. We shall leave you this week with a BBC One trailer link and countdown from Christmas Eve 1986, advertising all the stuff that will be coming up. But before that, we're going to leave you with Kate Bush from 1980 with December Will Be Magic Again, which is one of my favourite Christmas songs. Even though it's not Christmassy as such, it's still... it's Kate Bush in it. It's a bit weird and a bit odd, and I do love it. But Duncan, do say bye-bye to all the lovely people, if you would.
TTFN.
See you later, guys. We'll speak to you next week with somebody else talking about Christmas. Bye-bye for now.
Sings White Christmas. He makes you feel nice. December will be good. Together, old St. Nicholas up the chimney. Just a popping love in my memory. Ooh, jumping down in my parachute. White city, she's a little girl. Upon the black soot, icicle rooms. Ooh, and see how I fall. Ooh, see how I fall.
A reminder that tomorrow evening on BBC One you're invited to Christmas dinner at the Queen Vic, along with the other residents of Albert Square in a double edition of EastEnders. Celebrations begin at 6:35, with part 2 at 10 o'clock.
Major film entertainment for Christmas Day with Julie Waters and Michael Caine in Educating Rita.
Do you think I'll be able to learn?
Are you sure you're serious about wanting to learn?
I'm dead serious. You're a student, aren't you?
Yes.
So am I.
What is it? What's wrong?
Last night, Frank, I went to the theatre.
My God, I thought it was something serious.
It was. It was Shakespeare. Liv, I've come about the advert, for sharing the flat. Wouldn't you just die without Marla?
I'm afraid you'll find there is less to me than meets the eye.
See? You can say dead clever things like that, can't you? I wish I could talk like that. It's brilliant.
Rita, why didn't you walk in here 20 years ago?
I don't think they would have accepted me at the age of 6.
Educating Rita, Christmas Day at 10:40.
On BBC Two, in just over 5 minutes, a chance to join the star guests in some traditional Christmas festivities in the Yorkshire village of Giggleswick at Russell Harty's Christmas party. And here on BBC One, we've some Christmas celebrations of our own as we continue Christmas Eve with Val Duncan.
Entertainment for Boxing Day on BBC One at 5:40 Barnum.
Wherever it's at, they're calling you beats.
At 7:45, Allo Allo.
It is possible that the more curious among you are wondering what I am fiddling with under the bedclothes. I will not keep you in suspense. It is a sausage.
At 8:30, Bergerac.
What are you on about? Well, she was burned in a haystack fire, didn't you know?
At 10:15, The Verdict, starring Paul Newman.
You're Mr. Independent. You want to be independent? Be independent now. I have no sympathy for you.
And at 12:20, a movie classic, The Shop Around the Corner, a comedy romance starring James Stewart and Margaret Sullivan. And that's Boxing Day entertainment on BBC One.
In 15 minutes on BBC Two, the fortunes of an American family at the turn of the century with Judy Garland in Meet Me in St. Louis. And on BBC One now, we join forces with Radio 4 VHF in stereo for a simultaneous broadcast of the first Mass of Christmas from Clifton Cathedral, Bristol. And we'll be back in Bristol later on this Christmas Day, visiting patients and staff at Bristol Maternity Hospital for This Is the Day at 9:25.
Entertainment for Christmas Day on BBC One at 5:25, The Russ Abbott Christmas Show.
Good heavens. What is it, sir? Sit yourself.
At 6 o'clock, Just Good Friends.
Could you leave that pen? I've got to file it.
It's a blank piece of paper.
That's a list of all my assets.
At 6:35, EastEnders. And Love Strikes at 7:05 in Only Fools and Horses.
Right now, these canteens of cutlery are a very exclusive line. You can only buy these in Harrods, Lippides and Patel's Multimart.
At 8:20, Mystery and Intrigue. There's been a murder at the vicarage. Another new case for Miss Marple. Then at 10 o'clock, it's back to the Queen Vic. At 10:40, Educating Rita.
And what do they call you round here?
Sir. But you may call me Frank.
A great lineup of entertainment for Christmas Day on BBC One.
And this is the weather we can expect. It'll become a lot milder in most places tonight as wet and windy weather spreads south. Later tonight, the rain will turn to snow over the Low Countries. On Christmas Day, central and southern parts of England and Wales will start dull and wet, but it will become drier and brighter during the day. Over northern England, Scotland and Wales, there'll only be a few showers and a good deal of sunshine. In Holland and Belgium, the snow will slowly turn to rain before finally dying out in the afternoon. It'll be a mild day tomorrow with temperatures ranging from 6 Celsius, 43 Fahrenheit in the north, to 10 Celsius, 50 Fahrenheit in the far southwest. Well, that's pretty fair weather for Christmas Day, and with the time coming up to 20 minutes to 1 o'clock, we've got to get home and hang up our stockings. The BBC reindeers, I'm told, are waiting outside, so we'll leave you to do any last-minute wrapping of presents. And if you've got early risers in your family, particularly the younger ones, we'll be with you again for Play School starting at 8 o'clock. But in the meantime, from all of us on BBC One, have a very happy Christmas and good night to you.